So we should be good. Yeah, out in the sun. I see you.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. It looks nice and bright wherever you are.
I'm in Cali from the
Okay.
valley.
Okay.
May-
Oh,
Maybe, maybe after we're done recording, I'll share so you all can see. I'm
I
looking
love the
at
valley.
the mountains. I'm actually
oh,
Mm-hmm.
in Glendale, California.
Okay. Yeah,
beautiful.
that's what I love about Cali, the mountains, that mountain skyline.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you want me to pop this off?
Sure. It's fine with me.
Well, greetings, lovely Saria. Uh, Thank you for joining us here in the Sacred Circle Reset Experience. I like to
Yeah.
call this where disruptor coaching meets soul liberation, right?
Yeah, yeah, we've been here before and it was amazing. So,
Yeah, I think it was a catalyst to a lot of things that
yeah,
kicked off for you. So I appreciate that.
yep,
Just invisibility and supporting each other. And
right.
we'll talk about this more as we get started. So let's just jump right in with the first question that I have for you is,
Okay.
CeCe, how do you show up in the world, darling?
These days, I try to show up everywhere. But again, my name is CeCe. I am the founder and CEO of Soul Liberation. I am a business alignment coach, an advanced Akashic record reader, and an intuitive oracle. So I help women create signature offers that is aligned with their divine purpose. So, in order for me to do that, I show up everywhere. We have to, right? Because we cannot, no longer, let's just say, play the sidelines, sit in the back, be quiet, hide our gifts, all the things that come along with that. So, what I do is I lead by example, like we all should. So, if I'm showing up and I'm doing the difficult thing that may be for someone else and they see that I'm doing it, then they too have the courage to show up or even support me as I'm showing up and I will support them. So, it's just doing that thing out in the open now, right? We're at a time where our visibility is mandatory right now because people are waiting on us to be activated with the mission. So what's the mission? Yeah.
Talk your shit, girl. You know how I feel about that. I love this. So you said a lot of big words that I'm not sure that people may know. So
Mhm.
let's step into some of that. I'm very good, big on defining what's true for
Right.
someone, and be able to do that, you got to understand what that is. And one of the things that I think is a catalyst for a lot of women that come to you is Akashic Records, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell us more
Absolutely.
about what is that? How you spell that? What who them
Yeah.
who they mama now? Like what's going on there?
So Akashic records are it's an energy frequency, right, of the past, present, and potential future outcomes. Right. So as an energy healer, like I'm a Reiki master teacher and all of those things, like you said, these are titles that identify the gifts that we all have. This is just my particular gift. And I can read past lives and I can see what happened in past lives that are potential blocks today. As you know, you've had a reading with me and so many other women have to identify exactly how are these blocks showing up right now and what do I need to do to release them so that I too can show up and operate like everyone here on this call, right? Everyone wants to operate completely in alignment with who they are and their truth. And the more that we do that, this thing that we're doing here, like talking and trying to figure it all out, it just becomes natural because you're authentically operating in your truth in yourself in alignment with your soul. So that's what the Akashic records are. So it's again, it's an energy frequency that I've spent many, many years with mentors and teachers on how to align with that frequency to pull that information from that frequency to deliver it to my clients.
Ashe,
Um,
ashe. So
yeah.
how does one know that they want or need an Akashic record?
That's a very good question. So I would say the first thing is reoccurring patterns, right? Maybe it could be financially and you just can't seem to hold on to any finances, or maybe you are attracting the same type of relationship or thought pattern, or it could be a family, maybe bloodline energetically where there's always these elements that are there. They are the telltale signs that it is something underneath all of that,
Yeah,
especially if you're not doing any, if you're not doing any soul work, if you're not doing any shadow work, if you're not really sitting with self and meditating, whatever that means for you, these energetic frequencies is what I like to call them. They will appear in every area of your life and you can't kind of put your finger on it, but it's something there.
ashe. Ooh, I hate when that happens. There's something that I just cannot put my finger on, and I
Yeah.
know that it is there. That brings true to me for a lot of things. And feel free, raise your hand if you've got questions. We're going to keep this interactive and light because this can get heavy.
It can. It can.
Absolutely. You mentioned um, you mentioned the soul,
Mm,
right? Tell us more about that. What does that look like? What does that mean? What does it look like in your work when someone needs to come to you around that?
right. So there's many ways to approach this, right? So let's think of it as everyone has some kind of language or terminology that's assigned to um, a question or a thing, right? So let's just say that the soul, the higher self, the inner being, the intuitive nudge, that voice that you heard, like all of these things are the soul within. And
Mhm.
it speaks to us very loud and clear. It's just that we've turned the volume down on it. So when your soul really starts to speak to you, it's strengthening your intuition. It's strengthening for you to move forward, to say that thing, or I don't want to do this anymore. You ever like wake up and, we all have these situations where we're like, okay, I don't want to, work over here, or I don't want to go here, I don't want to do this. But then it's
Right,
just out of the blue that this one thing is just like, I don't want to do it. You just like it's just quick to the point, right? That's the soul. That's just like we've had enough. Stop suppressing me, right? Blocking your root chakra, right? I want to come out. I want to be seen. I want to align with you. And then
right,
after a certain amount of time, the spiritual awakening happens, just really depends on how you define that. More and more signs will show up in your life where you have confirmation that this is the path that you should be on, or the things that you need to walk away from, so forth and so on.
right.
And it's a beautiful experience because not everyone is really going to resonate with what's happening to you.
Mm, absolutely. I've been there,
Yeah,
done that.
we can talk about that for hours, but yes.
Been that, done that. What, so I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. Um, because what's underlying for me, you could drop your questions in the chat too if you don't want to come on the mic. Um, we're really easy here.
Yeah.
If you're catching the replay, again, make sure you still drop your questions because we still will answer them. I'm known as the disruptor teacher and coach out here in these streets.
I know.
And so I am curious, what did the disruptor in you have to disrupt? Because they are gifts, but you've really mastered them and honed in on them. So what was going on? Or was there some type of disruption, or what did you have to disrupt?
A few things there. Again, another question, and this is, I mean, another beautiful question, and this is where we really have to identify things that are going on in our lives because there are signals to the wake up, right? To the path that you're supposed to be on. So one
Mm,
was I had my father passed away suddenly, very quickly. That was like the biggest wake up call for me that even started the whole alignment journey as to where I am today. But
mm-hmm.
along the way, to answer your question, I had to really disrupt what people were saying, what family members were saying. Like what I'm doing right now in the spiritual space that I'm in, a lot of people didn't agree. A lot of people didn't like, what I'm doing and things like that. And I respect that. But I had to allow myself to continue to keep moving forward regardless. So, although they may have thought what was right for me at that time, I already knew in my soul what was right for me. Everything aligned beautifully for me once I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. This is what I'm led to do. So I would say, the biggest disruption that I had to deal with along the way, which my family loves me, they 100% support me now, was to go against the grain and tell them, no, I don't agree with you. I'm going to do this.
Mm.
Yeah.
And and let's get into it. Let's just keep it 100. And what does that look like when you say family? Because is that like immediate family? Is that
Yeah, it was immediate family. And I mean, and I had to understand too along this path, right? Some people are just stuck in their ways. Like this is their upbringing, this is what they know. They don't really want to venture out and learn anything else or even know that was this a possibility all these years and I never knew it
right?
for myself. So I'm respectful in that way of understanding. I just have to meet you where you are, right? But my gifts, my calling has always been there. Ever since a little girl, I was,
Yeah,
having premonitions and knowing things prior to and all of that. But it really didn't, I want to say kick off, but I really didn't fully step into her until the passing of my father, because that allowed me to see all of the things that we are doing here, it doesn't matter. Dead end jobs, worrying about what other people have to say, putting all these limits and restrictions on yourself. It didn't matter. And all of that had to be stripped away for me to be like, you know what? What am I doing? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? And then everything else kind of took off for itself.
I love that. That sounds like so much level of freedom, not being concerned about what other people are thinking and doing, because you got to live your own life. They live in
Yes.
theirs, but they have so much opinion and everything. I've seen that be a common theme, especially in religious dynamics and
Yeah.
cultures where there's a heavy focus on religion and what the Bible says and
Mhm.
any of that. And I'm curious, how many women do you get that potentially come to you, or probably men too, uh,
Yeah.
and because I feel like that's the barrier. That's why I'm the
Yeah.
disruptor, right? Because maintaining that status quo, and at the center of a lot of that
Mhm.
in my space was religion, right?
Right. I mean,
What has
and
that
I
been for
do
you?
have. Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I do have potential clients or people that I've spoken to who would like to get into the religion and spirituality conversation. And I don't venture down that road in a conversation because I'm not here. That's none of my business. Like I'm not here to convince anyone of anything. If you've worked with me or been in my orbit or had a conversation with me, what I receive is from the divine because the things that I tell you, I don't know you, so how did I know? So I just back out of that kind of stuff because I'm not here to kind of prove and be an ego and say this and that or whatever. I don't do that. I don't entertain that. It's spirituality for me. However you tap in, whatever that language is for you, then go ahead and use what that means for you. I'm just the messenger, I'm here to activate into awakening you onto your path, and it help you make money at the same time because we're paid for our gifts. Like we're not here to give it away for free either. So let's talk about that too, because we have a lot of people who feel like, you know, you shouldn't make money for what you do. And that's just not the case either. You'll find that when you are in alignment with what you do, you don't really have to ask for money because people throwing money at you. They're just like, oh my goodness, you clear so much. I'm like, what's your Apple Pay? What's that? And I'm like, you know, and early on, I'm like, this all good. I'm just relaying the message, you know. But now, you know, I'm an entrepreneur and so many things have happened over the year. I've been in business for a very long time. I stay with clients. Um, it's like, yes, okay, you know, this is what I should be doing and should be compensated for it.
Absolutely. Agreed, heard, and understood. I love that. Um, what are some of the successes that women have had in
Hmm.
coming to you? And I can see why they're throwing you their money, especially if you're stuck in a lack of clarity and now you're getting in an alignment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would say that the success varies because everyone who comes to me, you know, it's like for a different reason. But, you know, I've had, you know, clients, you know, maybe what did she do? Like 5 or 6x their income. You know, I've had clients leave a corporate America job and step into their own business, and now they've taken off. Um, you know, and success story after success story, you know, just having courage, you know, being able to have conversations with their family members to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to do this and actually do it, take the steps to do it as well. And then just have that reset. You know, that's where the alchemy comes in at. And we'll touch on that a little bit more because the soul liberation method is awareness first, okay? Authenticity, alignment, and alchemy. So, in this, you know, with your question, I love the alchemy piece of it because all of those things that you thought that you couldn't do that happened to you and all of these things, now you understand that it was all a part of the process. It is all of who you are and you're not running from it anymore. Like you've accepted all of that, and now you're turning it into alchemy. So you're transmuting it into light to be of service to someone else, to start your mission, to come in alignment with where you're headed. So we
Mm,
don't like take big bits and pieces and just like throw it over here. Like we don't need that anymore. We identify that this is all of me. Like all of those things I had to go through and that was passed down through my bloodline and things like that. There's energy, positivity, and frequency in that. That's why I show up
yes,
today, ever. I don't care what anyone has to say. It's not my business because the mission is greater than what we could ever expect.
I love that. Yes, it is. So alchemy is where it's at.
Alchemy is where it's at. Yes.
I love
You're taking that hand you was dealt and then you're transmuting all of that, meaning accepting what that was for you. How did that play out like for you? What wisdom can you take from that? Okay. And now it's just like somebody out here needs to hear that. I have a gift or whatever it was in that particular situation. Now I'm going to share with somebody else and help someone else. And I'm going to get paid to do it. You know, it's just like we're not in a loom and doom situation. So when people hear the Akashic records and I talk about blocks and things that may be preventing you, sometimes they automatically like scared. They don't want to address it. But it's not that. It is the best thing that you could ever know because it brings
absolutely.
confirmation to the thing that you already thought that was underlining happening. And now you can say, oh, okay, I got that. I know your number. Okay, bet. And I'm off to the races.
I love that.
Yeah.
Mary shared, we have gifts passed down from our ancient ancestors through the divine. Many of us have been programmed to think negatively about and suppress these divine gifts. It's time for us all to remember who we really are. Thank you,
Oh my
Mary.
gosh. Yes. Yes. That part. That's why I don't, um, you know, shy away from the things that I know that's true for me. So my ancestor altars, my energy work, My meditations, that's the time where I'm in connection. I don't separate them from me. I honor them and pay homage to them for helping me still from the other side, helping me to
Hmm.
show up and go ahead and fulfill that mission. I know that they're there. I know. I mean, we can go on down the line with that, but I know I hear them and all the other things. But, you know, again, to connect with them from that space is
Right.
powerful.
What is usually the first step uh, that a person needs when they come to you? Like what is the process for that? Do you start with the Akashic record?
Yes, I do. I mean, besides the conversation, because energetically I pick up on frequency, I pick up on voice frequency, so I can really understand what my potential clients are going through or what they have going on that day, because sometimes they're just really trying to get through the day. I don't want
Right.
to overwhelm them with a lot of things, right? So we have that initial conversation. They tell me what's going on. And then if they decide to, come on into my world and experience CeCe, then yes, we start with an Akashic record readings because they need to know what's there, right? And then it also brings a level of connection when I'm able to communicate exactly what's there and kind of let them know things that I mean, like I said, I shouldn't know, but I do, and it just comes out as validation so that they can open up to the frequency and allow the change to happen.
Mhm. Do they get to ask
So we start
questions?
there. Absolutely. You can ask questions up front in the conversations that we have or through the intake form. It just really, it's very comfortably relaxed so that you can take the tension out of the journey of where we're headed. Because once we have the reading, we speak, we talk about all of the details, where your
Right.
divine gifts are, how you should be showing up in the world. Like you'll know all of that. Spiritual team, spiritual guides, if you so choose to want to know them and their names and things like that. We can get into that too in your Akashic records. But most importantly, it brings clarity for the entrepreneur, right? Because now they know I'm either selling or showing up that way, and that is not even my gift. That is not even what I should be doing. This is the reason why it's not working. I should maybe tweak over here and do this and show up that way to become more in alignment. And then normally their business just takes right off.
I love that. I love that. Mine says divine order.
Yes, you operate in divine order, period. That's it. It can't be all over the place.
It cannot. And it is ringing true over and over and over and over again. I was with my godmother. My godfather passed, and we had his memorial this weekend. And I could not sit down because I kept straightening up stuff. And she's like,
Oh, hmm
what are you doing? And I didn't want to make her uncomfortable, but
hmm
everything has a place. And you can
right.
think better when things are in order, can't you?
Exactly.
That's why it works for me.
Reduce the
Uh,
clutter, right? Yes.
And I'm just like that with everything, though, not
Mhm.
just. And is that what it typically might look like? So mine came up as divine order. I can't have stuff all over the place and not just physical things in my mind,
Right.
mentally. And you know what I found out? That it has been my biggest barrier to keeping me stuck in a
Mm,
lot of things too. Like when there's a lot of confusion and things like that, I
mhm.
feel like that's the way that I get attacked.
Yeah.
And I'm
And
always
that
fighting for that.
right, it's that resistance that starts to come in. And then resistance creates chaos because you don't have anything in order. So it allows things to seep in that's really not worth your time. But because you're shuffling things around and still trying to put them in their places, it's just keeping you on my famous word, the loop-de-loop.
The
It's
loop-de-loop,
going around and around and around and around.
the
We talk about that
loop-de-loop.
loop-de-loop. That loop-de-loop is real for those who don't know. It's like you do all this planning and you do all this work and then you get to the top and then it's like, whoop, you'd have set up and said you needed to do something else, fix something else, go. It doesn't even make sense. I call it, that's CeCe's loop-de-loop. Get out the loop.
And I'm old school. It shows up as the merry-go-round.
Yeah, it's like, and knowing, right? Let's add that to this also.
Yes.
The Akashic
Let's.
records will also allow you to see when you're in alignment and when you're out of alignment. So, there's a report, that I give in the video of the recording and transcripts to let you know these are the things that trigger you from being out of alignment. And these are the areas where you're in straight alignment, focus, creativity, and able to move
Right.
forward. So that kind of just lets you know when you feel like you're slipping into that path, you could just go back and listen to the recording and say, "Yep, this is I'm going a little bit too far over here because I need so much order." you know.
Right. What the other thing in my mind is that you mentioned the energy, so you could read the energy and all of those things. When that came up to me, what I found was very helpful, which is I feel like another stigma that people have and hold is Reiki.
Mm,
When I was in the dark place, in the sunken place, like deep in the valley, I found, and I used to get massages every week, I found that Reiki relaxed me more and lift more heaviness off of me than anything else. And I mean deep, dark, sad, depressive,
yeah.
anxious energy and all of that. Can you speak more about the Reiki and
Yeah,
how that
sure.
comes into play?
Yes, Reiki is a powerful energetic tool to use. And as I said, as a Reiki master teacher, like I have the ability to sense and feel the blockages in the body. Now, with the disclaimer, I'm not your doctor or anything like that. You really should, go to a doctor if you really, really feel like something is wrong. But I don't hold back and let you know, like, it's very hot in this area, or I feel some brokenness in this area. And I just send a different modality of energy to that particular space because I'm certified in 14 plus modalities of Reiki. So I'm able to kind of mix them together and customize just based on my clients. So, but it helps with grief. It helps with aches in the body. It helps with turmoil, or heaviness if we're not cleansing our bodies, our aura fields as well. So it's a practice that I love to do and to also love for my clients to receive because the first time I had a client, they just said to me, I'll share, she said, nothing never happens to me when I get Reiki, and I'm just gonna try it one more time. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Just, relax and let everything go. She was asleep in like 30 seconds flat. Like, I mean, had to wake her up at the end, and she's like, well, I feel so good. Like, what happened? I'm like, you were just asleep the whole entire time. Like, her body was so heavy and bogged down, and I could feel it coming off of her body. But, and she's my client still today, right? She just loves the packages and all the things that she gets from it. But it's funny because a lot of people think that nothing is happening, but it is happening. And you should stay hydrated and rest and listen to your body afterwards
Absolutely.
and allow things to lift. So yeah, there is benefit in Reiki, definitely. So I'm gonna grab some water too.
Absolutely. You said hydrate. Let me get mine. Mine was looking at me like,
I
girl,
know, right?
you left me over here. Come back here. This is so good. Yeah, I found Reiki like it was more relaxing than a massage. It was more
Mm,
relaxing than a massage. And the first time, this just me, first time I had actually done it, I was with someone that was European descent. And my spirit was like, we're gonna need, and it worked. Don't get me wrong, it worked. She did 6 different modalities. She did like
mm,
sound, the drums. I think
yeah.
there was a spray involved. There was a lot going on. And And this is a period where I was like totally disconnected from myself. I didn't even know who I was. Felt like I did not know me. And um, Spirit was like, we need someone of African descent.
Mm,
And I got invited to a spiritual moon ceremony. And I went because at this point I'm open to any and everything because it's
mhm,
like what I was doing and being religious and Christianity and all of those things, they had not served me. They were actually very oppressive for me.
mm,
And there at that moon ceremony, I met a sister that did Reiki.
mhm.
I went back the next day to get the Reiki done. And she laid me on, and the place was called African Traditions in Las Vegas. She laid me on African mud cloth. I also did a vaginal steam before that, because these are things that were taking me back to what felt natural to me and my ancestry. And
Mhm.
it really felt like the whole experience was really divine. She laid me on the mud cloths after doing the steam and everything. I slept through the entire thing. The entire. But of course, we had a great conversation before that, and I just,
Yeah,
just talking about myself and all those things.
that's a
And
good Reiki practitioner. If you fall asleep like that, that
I
energy is powerful.
I am a very light sleeper. If you move, I know it. If you
Mm.
drop the pin, I hear it. And I was out cold. And what was so beautiful for me about that when I woke up, she told me that my ancestors wanted me to know that they were with me and that I was protected and I was covered. And she said, imagine them putting their hands on your shoulder. Each one of them is putting their hand on your shoulder, and it stretches a mile long.
Yeah,
And it instantly, I got really warm and it made me sit up. And I have felt and been protected from that day forward.
that's amazing. Yeah.
I absolutely love that. And I swear by Reiki. I don't know how others feel about it or if they have questions. Is there anything that you want people to know about Reiki?
I would say with Reiki, try it out. Make sure you go to a licensed or certified practitioner, should say a certified practitioner, ask questions, and allow yourself to be open to the experience.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing you can do, and everyone can do, is something I'll share with you, is you can call on your spiritual team in any situation. It's like you know, Selena, how I talk to my spiritual team. Y'all may talk to your spiritual team a little bit different how I talk to mine, but I talk to my spiritual team like a full-fledged conversation. This my girl right here. I'm like, listen, I'm going on to this experience, and I'm gonna need you guys to protect me. If it ain't for me, if something goes south or whatever, you know what to do. Like I just talk to them like that. So you can do the same thing if you're experiencing something or if you're going into a room and you're not quite sure what that energy field is going to feel like for you, just ask them. I'm gonna need y'all to show up. And then I'm gonna need y'all to let me know when I need to roll out of here if it's not for me. Like, and you will know intuitively, you will feel their presence, you will get the signs and all of those things. But I think where we need to get back to the power of this is knowing and feeling and
Right.
not suppressing. We've suppressed so much, we have to get back into listening to self, hearing, sitting in a quiet room and hearing what's going on. Um, and then just build over time. It just gets louder and louder and louder, just depending on,
Right.
for those who want to go a little bit deeper, you might have some, listeners or viewers who may not want to go that deep. But if you want to, these gifts you have inside of you, you can activate them.
Right. And thinking about that because a lot of times I hear about, I'm surprised you do that. I'm surprised you, I'm surprised you get tarot readings. It's all, it's all energy, boo. It's my energy. Like,
Yeah,
I ain't scared of me.
yeah.
And what I found, um, again, can only speak for myself, is maintaining the status quo and believing in this Western Bible and people that interpret it, and that has not served. It has
Yeah,
not served.
I think that we are we're in a time, and especially for whatever mission that we all have, right? And how you're out here and you're sharing your story and love and activating your community and everybody that you meet, because when we
Right.
talk to people, that's an activation. It's something that person needed to hear at that point in time. And I just really, really feel called to say that we are in such a great time for us to activate and to speak and to align with our mission.
Mhm.
If you are, heavy, like religious and things like that, that's fine. But there's still a word for someone that's going to activate you in a certain type of way, you know, and you have to find something that connects with your spirit, something that you feel open enough to let the guard down and allow the frequency in, allow the messages in. And it's a practice that you have to do. And this is why, I mean, I have so many things that I do to help the collective actually be
Yes,
her now. Like that's the Be Her Now energy community, because sometimes we need to just take a small step in what that feels like for you. You know exactly what it is you want to do. And I like to say, stop saying we are confused. Stop saying you don't know, you
exactly.
know.
Because you're
Because we're
telling yourself that.
allowing more doubt and fear to come in, and then we really can't hear our intuition because we're allowing that to be louder than the inner voice. So the Be Her Now energy community is all about that. What does it take for you to take that first step into being her, or
Right.
to know her, or to communicate with her, or quantum leap, or be in that type of frequency? We do so many things there. um and I think the baseline of that for the people who are in there now are actually seeing, like, oh, you know what, I can do this one thing of activating her to start the journey. We
Right.
look at this big picture, and it's not really all about the big picture. It's about the one simple step. Um, and to go back to something you said about the tarot and things like that,
Yes.
I used to get that too in the beginning, like, oh, you do that as well, and it's just like it's all a part of the gifts, right? One gift leads you to another modality to enhance this modality, and it all becomes full circle. For me, oracle readings and things like that, my guides speak to me through the images on the cards.
Hmm.
So it enhances more of my gifts, where I'm able to channel through certain things, because it's not just about one thing. We are multi-dimensional beings. We can do more than one thing at a time, as long as it is aligned with your divine gift.
Hmm. Tell them. Now you mentioned another word. Quantum leap.
Yes. Yeah, quantum leap, quantum jump. And remember, I want to say all of these are words of language to identify something. So you may hear someone say it differently. Quantum
Mhm.
leap, quantum jump. And what I like about it is, when I first experienced it so many years ago, I experienced that version of myself that I desired to be at that very moment in time.
Mm.
And then I was just like, wow, how beautiful of the divine to allow you to see your full potential and feel it and embody it for, I mean, for however long you can keep the frequency, right? For me, it's probably like maybe 20 minutes or so, to allow you to see that there's no space and time between where you want to be, because that version of you, that energetic frequency of you, is already there waiting for you to merge together. So that's what quantum leaping is all about. And we do that, we script her, whatever it is that you want, and then I teach you how to quantum leap and feel her for 5, 10, 15 minutes, as long as you can feel hold the frequency of her.
I love
Yeah.
that.
It's an
It's
amazing feeling. I'm telling you, man. It's like, wow. The moment we understand that all of these blocks are coming from a mental constraint, the quicker we can understand that I can do anything I want to do if even if I want to do it right now, because you just hold a certain knowing, confidence, frequency that no, I'm going to have it right now.
absolutely. And that ties in the mindset shift, right? Allowing
Mm.
themselves to release some of what they believed,
Mhm.
create the acceptance to then allow themselves to move forward and be open to the possibilities
Right.
of what that could be for them. That is
And the belief portion of that is not to suppress it or not to throw it away like, oh, I don't need it. It's really about acknowledging where the belief came from and
hmm
then pick it apart and say, what? Like, is that even true? Like, where did it come from? Okay, it came from this person or that person, or the teacher said something to me, or this person said, okay, but it's really not true. Why are you believing that?
mm
And then just ask yourself, how does it make you feel when you believe something that's not in alignment with who you are?
Right.
You weaken that energetic field every single time you give it pushback. Same as with fear. We all had fear. I have fear, things come up, anxiety come up, but I talk to fear like, you know, a friend. Hello, hello, fear. You're here. What do you want? Oh, okay. I hear it. I feel it in my body. I know what you're trying to do. Okay, got it. But I'm about to go over here and do it anyway. So
Right.
thank you. Like have a conversation with it. And instead of trying to suppress it. And it gets easier and easier and easier every single time it creeps up.
I love that. Where can we find you if folks want to learn, know more, be in your orbit? Where they gotta
Oh,
go? What they doing?
well, I have the Be Her Now Energy Community, which is my free community where you can head on over there and you get daily dose from me of how to become her, be her now. Whatever that means to you, there's no like labeling of me telling you what you need to do. It's where you fit in at that particular time. And that is my Be Her Now Energy community. Selena, I always have a bunch of other things going on, but I don't want to overwhelm your community. But I do have the Inner Guidance community. That is a paid community, and that is where we talk about and actually practice quantum leaping. There's Oracle message in there. We do that weekly as well. It's more interacting, it's more action taking. So if you're not ready to take action, then you could start with the Be Her Now energy community to you get to a point where you're like, okay, I want to experience that. I want a part of that. Or if you just want an Akashic record reading, you can just DM me and we can chat.
So easy and light. I love it. I love it. And so the Be Her Now community is on the school platform.
On the school platform.
Do they
Yes.
go in and search it, or do I have an affiliate link? Like where we go?
They can go in and search it, and I think if you tagged me in the post, then they can click on my name, or after this, we can drop the links in the community, um, and they can like click from there. Both communities are going to come up under my name anyway, I believe. So, but if
Okay.
not, we can just drop it in the community if people want to
Yeah, I'll
join
share it.
either. Yeah. And then you can just send me a message if you just want to know more about the Akashic record piece of things.
Love it. Let's see. What else? have we not shared that you would like to share?
Um, what else? I think we've talked about almost everything that I do very quickly, but I would like to just kind of leave a message for your community to say that you are the creator of your own destiny. The minute that you embody that and understand that you have the power to create whatever experience that you would like to create, because kind of take a look at your life now. You created that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you'd like to change that or enhance that or create something new, you hold the power to do so.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
oh, thanks. Here it is right here. See. Okay. Thank you. Is there
Mhm.
anything maybe that, your community would like to know? Has there been anything that comes up in your community, like question wise, that may be like applicable for me to answer? I'm open to that too. You
I
have
was looking
such
for
a
that.
beautiful community.
Nothing has popped up yet as
Okay.
I look through. Mary, I know you're on the call. Any questions from your perspective? I know healing is ever present in this season for you. Anything?
Yeah, I don't have any questions, more of just sharing. Um, my mom passed last year. Selina knows that. And it's just been very rough. It's already what, a year and 7 months.
Yeah.
Um, so just about 2 months ago, because I'm an artist, I paint, I write.
Mm.
So I was blocked from doing that, even though I did I think about 3 poems I was able to write
Mm-hmm.
since she passed. But in terms of the painting, I haven't been inspired or motivated to get down in the basement and pull things out and start that. But I do have some things that I want, some activities that I am planning, some events that I'm planning the coming year. So I'm feeling very optimistic. A couple months ago, I finally got some downloads and just started writing out things in my journal. And I knew at some point that that would happen. I've had a few readings, and my mother shows up in all of them. And several months ago, she's like, oh, you got to, it's time to I'm happy. It's time to get back to doing things
Yeah.
that you love. But, it still took me a few months to actually allow that to just happen.
Right.
So I knew that was going to happen. And, I'm looking forward to being a positive influence in the community that I'm in now. So I'm living in Omaha, Nebraska, where my mother is from.
Mm-hmm.
I spent some of my childhood here, but I'm from San Francisco. That's where I was born. That's where I went to high school and college. And then I moved to New York and lived in Brooklyn for over 20 years. So um, uh, I just, I'm here now. I bought a house here, which is something that I wanted to do actually from maybe 2018, 2019. I actually wanted to buy my grandparents' old house, which is about
Mm.
10 blocks from me now, which is ironic. I didn't realize that when I bought the house. It's important for me to give back to the community in some way. It's still very much how it was when I was 15 when I left here. So I'm just, I have to lead by example. And I think you might have mentioned that
Mhm.
earlier. That's important for me to do, not just complain. What do I want to see? What change do I want to see for my people in this community? So I have to actively take part in that. So I'm doing things. I've been doing things, preparing myself for this time, this journey.
Right.
Mm,
And you know, when my mother passed, it was like her passing the baton, but also pushing me to like, all right, you gotta figure this out on your own now. Yeah, I'm an
Right.
only child, so my mom, when I needed help, which I didn't ask for often, but when I needed help, she was there for me. So now it's like, okay, you gotta figure this out on your own, and not really on my own, because I know that my ancestors, my spiritual warriors and guides are always with me and directing and guiding me. And my
Yeah.
mom is at the head of it all
yeah,
right now. So, um, but yeah, it's been rough, because even though I'm happy about my accomplishments. There's still that sadness and that void.
yeah,
Um, and I miss her dearly. And it's just it's rough, but every day I'm doing
Yeah.
something to help um myself and the healing process, and just to make her proud as well.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Sorry to hear that about your mom, but you're right. Like she's there orchestrating everything in the background, making everything ready, clearing the way for what it is that you're doing and where you're headed. So lean into that energy and talk to her all the time. Acknowledge her, as I'm sure that you do,
yes, I
because
do.
she loves you. It's that powerhouse there. It's like we miss their presence here. I know exactly what you're going through. With my dad, it's been some time now, but I'm creeping up on a year for my older sister, who she passed last year. I had 6 months
Oh,
to
I'm
be,
sorry to hear that.
and I get it. I get it. But I look at it and I just say, you know what? I know that they are paving like the way. So we hold that energy. So if
Yes.
you ever need support or anything like that, definitely reach out to me. I know what it feels like.
Okay. Yes, Ashe. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks. This is super fantastic. So one more
Yes.
question before we go, CeCe, because I love to flip the mic too. Do you have any questions for me?
Let's see. I always have questions for you because I love what you're doing in your community. Just bringing the collective together to share the experience together and allowing people to understand that you don't have to go through the journey alone and you're not the only one going through the journey. So we hold space for all. So my question is to you, you know, how does Selena, you know, do what she does? How do you hold space for so many people um without, and I don't want to, and when I say burnout, not burnout from your community, but honoring self at the same time.
Absolutely. It's been a learned experience, and it is a daily radical practice, and it's self-love care. Self-love care, which is the first pillar in my SHIT framework, self-love care, healing, identity, and time. And I needed all of those things to verbally get my shit together and to focus on me, right? The ideal client, Miss I got time for everybody except myself. I'm her. I was her. And in so many phases of
Mhm,
her. And what became really clear to me is a couple of things. And you'll hear these things, but sometimes I don't believe they sink in until you're actually in the thick of things and going through and realize,
mhm,
oh, that's what that means. So, for example, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you can save anyone, even your own child, right? You
mhm,
cannot pour from an empty cup. You need to pour from your overflow. And
mhm,
in practice, what are those things? Right? And so I do it in practice, practicing on a daily. what that looks like. First was putting me first on my own schedule.
Mm.
I'm good at putting stuff on the calendar, but I wasn't on the calendar.
But you're not on the calendar. Wow, I remember those days.
Exactly. It's like you got the calendar for the kid, the husband, the dog, the cat, like
Yeah.
getting everybody where they need to be. But
Hmm.
so that's the first reality, putting myself on my own calendar. And then when I started practicing, because I was also, uh, I didn't feel like I was a, a, a early person, like rising early in the day. And I wanted that to be different. So I intentionally, and this is why I use the word sacred a lot, right? Because sacred is intentionally true for you. What that looks like, I intentionally decided I want to start rising at 5 a.m. every day. I want to get up and see the sunrise and all of those things. And in order to do that, it just does not start with just saying it. Once
Right,
I say it, then I've got to make a decision to
right.
do it. And then I have to practice. Most people will say take action. And what I also found that taking action is a form of still being busy, and it's not intentional, and it doesn't really help me get where I want to go. So I
Mm,
decide what I want to practice. It takes a lot of the weight off. So I give myself a lot of grace in my intention and what I want to do, so that it does not become performative, um, and all of those things, so that it allows me to really lean in and do what I say I want to do. So getting up early, I recognized that I needed 3 hours of my day for me, and to put
mm,
it at the beginning of the day, so then I don't feel cheated, like I'm trying to fit me into my day.
mm.
So
Yeah.
that's one of my rhythms. And then another one that I think is important, and why language is so important, because the world has you believing that you need this work-life balance. And how many of y'all have figured out that that shit is not true? It does balance. You would believe that things need to be equal, right? I believe I want work-life harmony. I want to do my work, feel good about my work, showing up, serving the woman that I am called to serve, and live my life in harmony. That's also traveling the world. That's also the holding space. That's all of the things being present. So I heavily invest also in what I desire for me.
Mhm.
That was a big thing too. I was giving my money and time and energy to everybody else and not myself. And now it's like I'm on repeat with that. And so these are all practices that need
Right.
to be learned. Once
Mm,
you make the decision, you're gonna fall off sometimes, you're gonna get back on. You don't beat yourself up. It's like, know that you are allowed to decide what can be true for you, and put down the labels, the roles, the performing, like all of that. Um,
mm,
and have what you desire. But you've got to make the radical decision to back it up with practice.
mm. Right.
You need to practice over and over and over again. So that's what I do. I give myself enough grace, and I surround myself and create communities to support that.
Right. That's
I,
important. That's
absolutely.
100% important to keep the frequency, to keep the momentum of where you're headed, to keep things with clarity and focus. So yeah, you do have to do that. I like what you said about language because I think everyone should come up with the language that best resonate with them. And we could be saying the same thing, and that's fine, but it resonates with you on a different frequency based on the language that you put to it. So I definitely,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And it's so important. I just wanted to share the tie-in with us, right? We met each other in our Hello 7 certified coaching community, became business besties, and that was one of the darkest seasons in my life, right? And the fact in being in community, CeCe would work with me practically every day of the week and hold space for me to get through that certification. We would do our practices and homework together so we could get through that. And it was a lot going on and swirling and all of the things. But it's a beautiful thing when you can be witnessed, you can be seen, somebody can know what you're going through and be ready to at the willing to offer a hand and what that could look like. I'm big on too in identifying what does that really look like in practice? Because that's what you're gonna need to do. You're gonna need to practice, right?
Yes.
You're not, you need to take action, but action,
Right.
I've reframed action to practice. You need to practice more than you need to take action, right? Reflip that on its head and see what that feels like and looks like in your body. Because the other thing, even though you're going through this shit, and what is important for me is I still need to keep moving forward. So I create also an inner love and an outer love tribe. What do I need to show up to be me? And who
Right.
do I need? And then for the things that want to keep me moving forward, that is also um, the tribe. That's my outer love tribe. There's the inner for me to be me, and then the outer. So there's the self-love, and then there's the self-care. So I combined them. That's why because you need both self-love care. That term didn't
Love
exist.
the practicing part. I love that also. I do, because practicing allows you to show up and show up being authentic.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, what I'm seeing is that there's resistance in showing up because we are not being authentic with ourselves or our mission or what we're selling or what we're coaching or what the program is or whatever that means for you, right? It makes
Absolutely.
it even more difficult if we're not authentic in that messaging.
Absolutely. And it's and I want to call out. I like bringing up the elephant in the room and the things that are not being said.
Mm.
CeCe and I do very, very similar work, right? And it's a compliment. It is not like, oh God, y'all do the same thing. Why y'all together, right? Because we, if she resonates with you and I don't, good. If I resonate with you and she doesn't, good. Because one of us got you,
Mhm.
you know, and understanding that. And that is very important. That is that I call it creating a circle of love. That's what the community needs. You can be in community with your sister and do the same thing. Your messaging isn't the same. We do very similar. I'm not, I'm a receiver of Reiki. I'm not getting certified in Reiki or any of those things, but we both do identity work. We do healing, all of that. We have a energy and a frequency to one another. You know, you do and get the medicine that makes sense for you. And I feel like that's a big overarching thing that I want, if nothing else, for you to take away. You do what's best and what's right for you.
Yeah. Well, I think it also goes back to the lack of frequency of scarcity or thinking that there's a saturation of something, and then we get into a mindset of two people can't do the same thing and it becomes to be something that it's really not, which I
Absolutely.
don't buy into those type of things. I just believe that there is no lack thereof when you attune yourself to a vibration of abundance. You see yourself differently. You see other people differently as well. There could be 100 people out here doing the same thing that you do, but there's something about you and your messaging or your aura or your vibration that resonates with someone else. You
Is
know,
and
so
I
I
feel
just I
part of
just
it.
look at it like that.
Part of it I feel too is what you talked about, your soul's journey, because all the dynamics of you is what makes you unique
Hmm.
to be able to serve in a way that you serve that is going to resonate with someone else. And we've got to have that.
Right. Right. And all the modalities, like this is years and years, like, of mentorship and practicing and life experience, and things that have happened along my journey to be able to hone into the skills and gifts that I have today. What makes me different, because everybody's gift is different, is that I'm just able to really pull out and connect with frequency and energy. And I'm just able to connect with you on a way to tell you things that I couldn't possibly know. But I also allow you to take that and then build from there. So that's
Mm-hmm.
like, it's like a give back, like a give and receive, as well. But in my mind, as y'all know, and some who may not know, I mean, I love all things metaphysical. Have as a child, I've always been a intuitive, a reader as a child, and it just has developed now in my big age that I am today. So these type of things really geek me out, because I've experienced things that most have not or don't believe. And it's just like, when you experience it, it is a game changer. That's why I delivered that message of saying, you are the creator of your destiny. When you realize that you can think a thought and tap into something that's bigger
Mm-hmm.
and higher than you, and it
Tell them.
happened, it's just like, why are we not all doing this?
Because
Like,
of,
why
I
not?
feel belief, right? Believing one thing until you practice it enough to see what's true for you.
That's true. That's true. Look at all the things. I think we touched on, look at your life now. It's everything that you've created. Some may agree with that, some may not. But if you look at your life, you created those situations to where you are today. So what if you could see your life in a different perspective of where you're headed and where you're going before you actually get
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Some people call it manifestation, and you can put all these labels. Call it what you want. That's perfect. Okay. But you have the power to do it. I've done it so many times, and this is why I teach on it. And this is why I say, hey, once you allow yourself to be in alignment with your offer or with your gift or your talent or whatever that means for you, everything takes off. Everything is in flow. People are attracted to you. People want to pay you to, just help them get a teeny bit of what you have. And it's not even a secret sauce. It's really not. It's the activation. We miss the activation. The mission is to activate the next person, to wake them up so that they can now operate in their divine gift and they can go and activate somebody else.
I love that.
It's
I've been
all an
using,
act of service.
it really is. I've been using that I'm a catalyst, but I also like activation. I think I'm going to interchange those two.
Yeah, it's activation. It's something. Think about a song that you listen to, or I don't know, a poem that you listen to, or you saw a painting and it just spoke to you in a way that it activated something like, oh, I'm going to start going to art galleries now because I really love this painting that I saw. It's an activation. And then that activation leads you to somebody that was supposed to be at that place at that time who wants what you have, and then you
Mhm.
connect, and then dot, 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 down the line.
I love that. That is a key point too, because so many uh folks believe like one thing is going to change everything. Like it's the answer. It will unlock, activate, or be the catalyst. And sometimes that's why you went there and why you were called to show up in a space or do something,
Yeah.
do a practice, or just your spirit is giving you a download. It's only going to tell you one step at a time. You don't get all of the steps. And when you take that very first step,
Hmm.
action practice, it leads to the next step on your journey.
True. So true. So true, but
So
we've been so conditioned to hide. Now, maybe not all of us. I will just speak for CeCe. Way back then, we've been so conditioned to hide behind that and not want to show up. But now it's the time, and I'm here to help you do that.
Asheo,
Now it's time.
Asheo.
Yeah, I mean, I flew all the way to LA. Never been to LA. Went by myself, hopped on a plane, did all the things that made me scared out of my mind. Didn't know who I was going to meet, didn't know what I was going to say. But guess what? All the way on the plane, I could feel the energy of this is your time. This is it. And I got there and I met so many beautiful people. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I was just like, where have you been all of my life?
Was that to you or the people?
To everybody in the room, everybody just poured into
Yeah,
everybody. Just like, ooh, this is
yeah,
why I'm here. You know what I mean? So we have to, like you said, take the step. Now you don't gotta fly across the world or anywhere else, but I'm just saying, take take the step.
absolutely. That was a beautiful time.
It
Also,
was
you know what it made me think of?
what?
You did not make it to Puerto Rico to our graduation because you
Yeah,
weren't supposed to be there.
I wasn't supposed to be there. And I went through all of that process, that journey, the program, and I didn't make it to graduation. It was a snowstorm here in Philly and they canceled my flight and there were no flights for me to get there. So,
Yeah.
um, although it was a sad time for me, like I was upset about it, but then, I feel like again, like you said, it wasn't divine timing for me, but so many things happened after that. People that reached out to me prior to Puerto Rico and wanted to connect with me, they were like, oh, girl, don't worry about that. We getting on a call when I get back. So I didn't miss anything. I missed the ceremony, but I didn't miss
Oh,
the people who wanted to still connect with me.
right.
And that still happened, and I was happy about that. And LA was a whole different vibe for me, as I said on this call, about being seen, about showing and being and leading by example and all of those things. LA was that for me. Like I'm speaking in front of the camera, I'm taking videos, I'm telling people what I do. That was the piece for me to be able to do. So, I just asked your audience and your community, like, what is that next step for them? And what does that mean for them, and what steps are you going to take to come into alignment with that?
That's fantastic. And I see Roxy has joined me. Me and Roxy been rocking together a long time. Welcome into the circle, to the space. Anything come up for you, Roxy, as you have joined us and what you stepped in on?
Hello.
Hi.
Um,
Greetings.
I was, while I was listening to you guys, I came in on the part when you were saying to be authentic.
Mm.
And I didn't come on camera. I'm just being transparent. I didn't come on camera until I put some concealer under my eyes because I was looking so tired.
Mm,
And all I was thinking about is how I look. And I don't
Look,
too
look
much care
over.
about wearing a bunch of makeup, but sometimes I'm just like, could use a little help today, you know. But at the same time, just hearing you say that when I popped in, I was just like, uh, yeah, I could have, I probably would have heard more if I hadn't worried about using that few minutes to put that on.
mm,
Um, it's just stuff like that, and I believe in, well, more and more, I believe in having something that I visualize. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It's like some people out there are making some of the stuff they call manifestation and stuff seem really woo-woo and mystic and all that. And I don't really get into that, but I do believe that uh, God is in me
mhm,
and his spirit is in me. Uh, I don't I don't get into a whole lot of American Christianity stuff anymore. So that's been harmful to me and my family. And it's just a lot of things that aren't right with that in my mind.
mhm,
Um, and for me, I feel like I've loved God since I was a little kid, and He's been with me. And I didn't always obey Him and live out being obedient in that way. But as I've gotten older and learned a lot of things, that's changing. But again, thank you. I'm grateful for His grace and mercy in my life. And I'm to a point where I can say that I have experienced a lot of things where if I really tap into uh, His spirit and I pray certain things, they happen. Sometimes I give voices of things that have happened, kind of freaks me out. I feel like if I tell people this, they're going to send the people in the white coats come and grab me and try to figure this out. But
Me and you both.
I I told somebody I trust about this not too long ago, and she was telling me, just ask God what it is that He's trying to show you or teach you, or don't be afraid of it. I never feel really afraid. It's more of a, okay, that happened. Okay, now what? Like, what's going on in the future? But I do believe that believing in what you're doing and being that genuine person.
Mhm.
And I know that the reason why I'm further behind than what I think I would have been when I started this journey last August is because of all the pivoting and not really sticking to what I really love to do. I was listening to other people tell me, well, that's not really something that people think is something that they need to have or um and I've seen some of the opposite. I've talked to a lot of people when I go to live events. They're like, "Wow, this is amazing," and I like to learn more about it, and things like that. So I'm starting to, decide that I need to go back to not square one, but I need to go back to what I knew I wanted to do in the beginning
Yeah.
and do that because that's what's easiest to me. It's the least stressful. I don't have to think a whole lot about what I'm going to say or how I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
And it'll attract the right people, just like they say, it'll, even if it's not something where I'm teaching people how to, earn money and stuff, because I really don't know
Mhm.
how to do that so much, but I do know how to help people gain certain skills to help them to earn money. So yeah, so I'm kind of going back to what it is that I love to do and that I know how to do well. And being grateful for the skills I've learned along the way as I've pivoted, trying to learn different things so I can put that out there, but not really feeling like this isn't something I think I want to do in the long run. I'm not going to keep up the momentum because it's not really what I want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And some people call that I've been called stubborn and rebellious and this and that. And it's just like, because I'm not doing what you want me to do. Or something that you think isn't worth other people's money or time. So, um, getting rid of those voices.
Mhm.
A young lady named Lily in the school community. Um, she was on a call with me and she told me, she's like, that's external. Stop listening to the externals and listen to the internal. Because you've
Touche.
always, and Selena, you've told me this too. You've always had it inside you what you want to do. But at the same time, it's just so many voices saying, no, do that. No, do this, because, and I got to get out of that trying to do it quicker mindset too.
Mm.
And hearing my whole life, just make the sale. Doesn't matter if they don't want it, just make the sale, get yours, you know. Um, but now I feel like when I do let down that wall of
Mm.
insecurity and just trying to, you know, hold on to things and that scarcity and like things miraculously change and people accept offers and things like that. So that's what I'm that's what I'm focusing on now. I have to. Like this has to work for me. I'm kind of at that. I don't feel desperate per se. It was just more like it has to work because this is how I want to work now. I don't want to work like lots of corporate jobs and things like that. So that was a lot, but that's kind of what I'm
Oh, thank you. I mean, thank you
at.
for sharing that. I mean, your truth is your truth, and where you're called to be in alignment is where you're called to be. We all on a spiritual, not spiritual path for me, but entrepreneurship for everyone who has experienced entrepreneurship has had this happen one way or another, where
Mm-hmm.
you start off one way and then you're told something and then you go down another way, but at the end of the day, you always end up right back where the divine or the purpose call was for you from the beginning. So you're not alone in that. I have been there many, many moons ago. Um, and that was what
You
allowed
sound like you're so old.
I am. I'm not gonna say I'm old, but it was many, many moons ago. So I'm happy that you are finding your place for you and what that means for you. I'm happy that you are doing that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I love this for you to see
yeah,
the heaviness be lifted.
right. Can I share a tool or technique that maybe you might be interested in doing? Now that
Sure.
you are circling back around to where the divine has called you or the download or whatever best resonates with you, I
Mhm.
would, and you don't have to, one of the things I did was like script or write out exactly how I see myself in my passion.
Mhm.
I would write it out in detail. It's only between you, the piece of paper, your spiritual team, and the higher power that you believe in, right? And then just like sit with that. See how that feels and resonates for you. And I can almost 100% guaranteed. The more that you read that script or embody that script, it's going to happen. People are going to come your way. You're going to get more enlightenment out of it, whatever that means for you. And then you'll be able to go ahead and do whatever it is that you want to do. That's like your sacred, as Selina says in her community. That's your sacred messaging to self and your higher power. That this is what I'm embodying. This is my thing here, and this is how I see it in my lens.
Mhm.
Mhm. So I just want to repeat so you just want me to just write down things.
Just write down what is it that you do, or what area is your expertise? Like, what are you doing right now?
Right now I host a community called Food, Faith, and Fellowship.
Okay.
And again, that name is even from a pivot I made because somebody
Hmm.
uh, suggested that I change the name based on um, what I wanted to offer in the community. And to be honest, the name just hasn't settled with me. Um, the
So
first
let's
name, the
say,
first name I had was Roxy's Kitchen and Events, and
okay,
that's what I really like because I love hosting events and all that. And then when I went to the mindset of, well, I got to make this something that I help people make money. And that's when I wanted to go into teaching people how to become food entrepreneurs.
okay,
Mm.
And
okay,
so that's what I do. I geared towards 50 plus to be more confident in the kitchen And as they get more confident in their skills, if they want to pursue food entrepreneurship, I lead them down that path.
Okay. So what I would suggest if it resonates for you is to script. It's called scripting, but it's really just writing out exactly how you see the entrepreneur passion for you. So if it's the name being changed to what that name is, then I want you to write that at the top of the paper. You know, this is the name of it. And I'm just going to go off top of head, right? None of this is applicable to you, but I'm just going to give an example, right? Um, I'll use myself so you can really understand and you just turn it and fill it into what you're working on. So I always wanted to write books ever since I was younger. Many moons, as we say. So I say, you know, my name is Saria, and I am New York Times best-selling author of, and I fill in the name of that book. And I'm like, and everyone is excited about to read how I'm able to help them change their life because I'm telling them how to use this recipe or cook with this tool or bring this out. And, I'm really just like having fun with the experience of me being a New York Times best-selling author around the world. I cannot believe it. This is such a gratitude moment for me. And then you just spill all of what that feels like for you in your head out on your paper, and then read it. Read it in the morning, read it at night, get excited about it, feel what that feels like. Nobody cares about what this outside stuff says or looks like. This is what you embody. This is you doing that for whatever feels right for you. I'm not going to put a time frame on it. I'll just say for me, I always do it for 30 days because after the 30 days, I don't need to read the paper no more. I am hype about who I am. Like if you could hear the conversations or the dances that I do around here in my house because I just know.
Mhm.
After that certain period of time, you start to embody something that hasn't really shown up in your reality right now. But guess what's happening? Things are being moved around to match your frequency of what you put on a paper. And you will start to see signs of that, either messages of hearing, however you're connected, and I'm not really sure, but you wouldn't know what that means for you. And I call them little breadcrumb trails to let you know, yes, you're on the right path. I don't need X, Y, and Z over here to tell me anything because I received this sign from Yahweh, divine source, whatever you're tapped into, because I know because this sign showed up for me. That eliminates all of the external validation or what people try to tell us to move away from where we're supposed to be. Your name of your community could be like the household name. It was supposed to have your name in it for a reason. We don't know, like, but we gonna have fun with it on paper. My name is known around the world, kitchen and events, whatever that means. So tap into that energy. Just try it for a little bit. Just have some fun with it. Laugh at it. I want you to really have kid like fun with it. And I don't use guarantee a lot, but I will tell you the breadcrumbs of messages that you will receive that you're on the right path, or yes, this resonates with your spirit and how it makes you feel will just enlighten you on the inside.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll try it. Yeah.
It's
So
fun. And then anytime you want to practice it out, we can practice it out together. Selena, no, I love it. I
yeah.
love being in that
Okay.
space of like, what we talking about?
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like brainstorming. I love doing that. So
Yeah, do that. Fill that paper up. It's read it back to yourself. No one else is No one else is seeing that. That's between you and source and how you internally feel on the inside about that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, over the years, I lived in a house for 24 years. I sold it last year and around this time too. And I used to have basement and backyard mini concerts in my
Mm,
house in the backyard and my because my girls were so musical. They can sing and play instruments and they'd invite their friends and their friends who were local artists throughout the Twin Cities, and we would
Mm-hmm.
just make a whole time of it. And I love doing that, and if I could teach people how to do that, how to set up stuff in their basements, in the backyard, if you know somebody who does that, it's even better because a guy who used to do all the tech stuff in the AV in our church used to come and help set up stuff. And that's really what I wanted to do when I started the school community. And I kept getting the messages that nah, that's not good enough. That's not a good enough thing that people are gonna come be attracted to or whatever. And I don't think I believe that anymore. So,
good for you.
yeah. Maybe I was just the wrong people I was trying to attract. But now I know that my message is going to it's going to do two things. It's going to repel the wrong people and attract the right people.
Mm.
Absolutely. That's what it's going to do. Absolutely. Hmm.
Yeah. So now I'm doing another pivot back to where I was, and whoever stays stays, and whoever goes goes. Because I feel like I'm tired of being confused and running around like this. Like I have to do what's in my soul that I feel like I want to do, and all that other stuff can come later, I guess. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
it's your business, Roxy. So you get to do it however you want.
Yeah.
And nothing is wasted. All of those things that you did gave you valuable information. You either learned, okay, yeah, this ain't it. I don't want to do that. You might have picked up a nugget along the way also that could be carried forward. All of those things. I love seeing the growth that you have made, right?
Thank you.
Because now you are listening to your inner voice and you're not letting that stop you. And a year ago, or even three
Let's
months
not go
ago,
there.
yeah,
No, I
I'm bringing it
understand.
back. Yeah, but 3 months ago, your life looks very different than 3 months ago. Extremely
Yeah.
different, right?
Hmm.
So things are in the universe orchestrating on your behalf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Continue to know
That's
that.
very helpful.
And and if you decide you need it, there I dropped a little gift in there. There's your permission slip. You can write your name and do
Oh,
what
I see. Looking at
give
the
yourself
chat.
that's an invitation and permission, whichever one you need. If you need an invitation to have permission to do it,
Mm, I just downloaded it.
there you
Hmm.
go.
Mm, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So, unless you guys have something else to tell me, that's all I have for now, I guess.
That was
Well,
it for me.
thank you for being here in the circle and sharing. Mary, before we go, anything else that may have come up for you or that you would like to
Sorry,
share?
sorry. Yes, I was trying to. I was trying to save the download of the permission slip.
Oh, okay.
Um, no, I just this was great. I'm glad you have this. I'm glad you opened up this community for us. I remember you speaking about DisruptHer and seeing you on what was it, Instagram. You were being interviewed, I think, or you were speaking to somebody about um, this school community and starting
Oh,
this. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, that's Selena.
I
um,
recall.
Yes, yes. So I know I shared it in our Africa chat on WhatsApp, and actually Narlia said she saw that as well. So I
Okay.
think she's in the group too. She
She's
just
in
said
the community.
yeah, she says she's in the community. Um, I know she's been very busy, but anyway, yes, I love that you have this community for us, and it just gives me another outlet to um, put my energy into in a positive way, and I'm receiving and also trying to give as well. So I love this, and thank you so much. And I was able, actually off work today, that's why I was able to attend this.
Yay, I was
Mhm.
curious. I love
Yeah.
this. I love this. And as you see, the intent of the community, it's a reset. It's not a busy community.
hmm
It's not going to be a busy community. What
hmm
you come to the circle to get what you need. And I appreciate that you are also giving, being the medicine, because every voice in the circle matters and is important. I think you and
Yes.
Roxy are two of the top people on the leaderboard
Yeah.
in the
Yeah, I noticed that.
community as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
So I thank you. Your presence is needed here for sure. Absolutely.
Ashe.
CeCe, before we
Yeah.
round it out, round it up, and all of those good things. Any last thoughts?
Um, no, I mean, I think this was a very powerful, warm conversation. Thanks for having me. I always love to come and talk and share space with you and your community. So, no, I don't have anything else.
I have one more
Mhm.
question. Any key takeaways that you could share? Anything that resonated with you? Because sometimes, even though the expert is in the room, they take things away as well. Anything show up for you?
Um, I would just say more of a confirmation for what I do and the work that I do in regards to just alignment, and everything is just going to come back to full circle when you have a download or a divine message or a gift to share with the world. So Mary and Roxana said, like, they do have a mission through, the calling that they received for them, and to give back in the community, and through, art, and, through sharing self-expression, and things like that. And it all came back to, this is the calling that was in my heart, and this is what I'm going to do, regardless of what the outside noise is telling me what to do. This is what I'm doing.
Shay,
Mhm.
So
Shay.
it does work. It does work.
Yep, it does.
Absolutely. Mary?
Yes, I wanted to add to Roxanne. I understand what you're saying about just not being able to put up with anyone's, you know, thing, whatever they have going on that doesn't align with you. And I just had a conversation with one of my friends, and we're also in another school community. Um, ever since my mom passed, and I told her, I was sitting with her at the rehab facility, and this was when she was able to sit up and at least nod her head.
Mm-hmm.
But I let her know, I said, once you're gone, I said, there's a lot of people I'm not going to deal with. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of things I'm no longer going to put up with and accept. Um, and, she just nodded her head. And that's one thing with her no longer being here in the physical that just gave me more, I feel like more power, more freedom in saying no and being okay with that, not feeling like, oh, I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings, or even getting that feeling that you get like, oh my God, I don't want to have this conversation. Because, no longer have that feeling. It's all confidence, no fear, no anxiety. I say what needs to be said unapologetically. And, I was telling my friend, because something recent just happened, and I said, I'm no longer going to allow people to disrupt my peace. If there's a situation where you're reaching out to me and you are saying that you have certain issues, but then when I call you back, you don't pick up the phone. Or when I say something in a chat, like, hey, let's talk about it. You came to me with this. So I don't run from confrontation. And I like to take it head on, and we should be able to have a conversation as adults, mature people. But if that cannot happen, or if you don't return a call, or if you don't respond to a message, but you want it to be in your time and your way, and and on your terms, I'm just no longer playing a part in that, because I see it as a form of disrespect, because I'm always going to give you respect until you show me otherwise. So I'm just no longer allowing certain things to even come into my force field, my energy. I'm not. I'm stopping it. So that may upset people. I don't care. It's just, because I will always try, and I was always that one that would go back and go back. And even though you see red flags and like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, because I'm not a confrontational person, and, yeah, so that's it. I'm living in my power, my truth, unapologetically. And it feels great. It's liberating. It's liberating.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to be a people pleaser. So, I'm no longer that person.
Yes.
Ashe.
2025 is the year of the snake. It is the year of shedding. It is the year of the transition into the new. Um, and that's where we're headed in 2026. So this year has been about illuminating and shedding what is no longer tolerated in your frequency. Because in 2026, the world or your tribe or your relationships or whomever are going to get a clear message of who you are right now. And it's coming. I talked about this in my inner guidance community, but it's coming. This has been the year of shedding, illuminating and shedding.
Sure.
It's going to be a lot of people who are not going to be part of your space in 2026.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm all for it. Let's go.
Ashe.
Well, thank you, Selina, so much for having me. This was an awesome conversation.
Yes, it's
Thank
just
you,
like I
Mary, for
like it.
sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you all for your presence. That's our time. And until next time, I want you to take good care of you.
You
Thank you.
too. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Syria.
Welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.